Hi, my name's Melia DeVito, and today I'm going to be talking about how social media affects the teenage brain, specifically the science behind the likes, FOMO, and the addiction. Did you know that every time a teen gets a like on social media, the brain releases a dopamine? This is the same feel-good chemical triggered by eating something sweet like chocolate or winning a game. This makes social media potentially as addictive as gambling. The purpose of this presentation is to explore how social media impacts the teenage brain, uncover the science behind its addictive nature, and raise awareness about its effects on mental health, focus, and emotional well-being. So, dopamine in the brain. One of the most powerful ways social media affects the teenage brain is through a chemical called dopamine. Dopamine is a feel-good neurotransmitter that gets released when we experience something rewarding, like eating our favorite food or hearing someone praise us. On social media, every like, comment, or new follower gives our brain a tiny burst of dopamine, creating a rush that feels good and makes us want more. A study from UCLA's Brain Mapping Center found that when teens saw photos with lots of likes, the reward centers in their brains lit up much more than when they saw photos with fewer likes. That shows that likes aren't just harmless; they're actually shaping our brains and how they react. In fact, experts say social media uses the same variable reward system as slot machines. You never know when you'll get that next like, just like you never know when you'll get a win on a slot machine. And that unpredictability keeps you hooked. Even Sean Parker, the former president of Facebook, admitted that they designed it to give users little dopamine hits to keep them coming back. So what seems like a simple scroll or quick post is actually interacting with our brains in a powerful and addictive way, especially for teens whose brains are still developing. The emotional impact. Another major social media affects the teenage brain is by impacting our emotions, especially self-esteem and anxiety. When teens scroll through platforms like Instagram or TikTok, they're constantly exposed to highlight reels of other people's lives, perfect vacations, flawless selfies, or exciting events. This creates a culture of comparison where it's easy to feel like you're not good enough. In fact, a 2022 study from the Journal of Adolescence found that over 60% of teens reported feeling inadequate about their appearance after using social media. That feeling of not measuring up can quickly lead to low self-esteem and even anxiety. On top of that, there's the pressure to stay connected, to get likes, and to not miss out. This fear is so common it even has a name: FOMO, fear of missing out. When teens see their friends hanging out without them or attending events that they weren't invited to, it can create a real emotional sting. Over time, constantly checking for likes and comparing yourself to others can take a serious toll on mental health, leading to stress, anxiety, and even depression. And I know as a teen myself, I'm an 18-year-old girl, I know personally that it does take a toll on you and it does affect you. So sleep and focus. Social media doesn't just affect emotions, it can also mess with sleep and concentration. For many teens, scrolling through their phones late into the night has become a common habit, but this actually disrupts the body's natural sleep cycle. Studies show that the blue light from screens can suppress melatonin, the hormone responsible for making us feel sleepy, making it harder to fall asleep. In fact, the American Academy of Pediatrics reports that 93% of teens use electronic devices in the hour before bed, and this leads to poorer sleep quality and shorter sleep duration. Without enough rest, the brain struggles to focus the next day, leading to lower performance in school, difficulty concentrating, and even mood swings. Social media's constant stream of notifications and content also makes it harder for teens to fully disconnect, leaving them feeling mentally overstimulated and distracted throughout the day. As a result, it's not just the sleep that suffers, focus and attention span do too. I know myself, as a personal example, I'm always struggling to put my phone down at night and actually go to bed because I just keep seeing more and more things that I like scrolling on TikTok. I keep seeing more and more things that I like and that I want to watch, and that's engaging, and TikTok does that for a reason. That the more money they make, they don't care. In conclusion, while social media can be a fun way to connect and share, it also has significant effects on the teenage brain, from triggering addictive dopamine hits to impacting self-esteem, anxiety, and even sleep. The influence of social media is deeper than many realize. The key is awareness. Understanding how these platforms affect our mental and emotional health can help us make more mindful choices. So while it's okay to enjoy social media in moderation, it's also important for us to take breaks, practice self-care, and remember that the life you see online is not always the full picture. By doing so, we can protect our brains, maintain our mental well-being, and find a healthy, balance between the virtual and real world. And then here's my sources. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.